Immortality. It is a dream. One that man has sought after since time memorial. To find a cure for death. That was my goal. To reanimate that which they said was gone. I tried countless times. And each was a failure. Until I found the missing piece of the puzzle. I had succeeded. I had created life, but all was not to end happily. My creation rebelled, and now he is loose. Now he terrorizes the people of this world.
Hey everybody, Space Chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Panel to Panel, your show about comics and everything pertaining to. I'm Spin Dash, and the Panel to Panel crew is here, such as the Space Chief.
Word up, everybody.
Jules.
Hi, everyone.
Panda and Norton.
Hi, everybody.
And Pedro.
Olá, tudo bem?
The ladies' man. Because I can grow on trees.
Megan Ashley's favorite Brazilian.
No, I'm all red.
Why do I want to ask what her second favorite Brazilian is? Tonight's all about Asgard. Brazilian. Alright. Compose yourself, Brazilians. I mean people. Yeah. Alright, so Chief, let's start off with your obituary for Journey into Mystery.
Yeah, man. This Journey into Mystery is a title that's been around off and on since the late 50s. And I just got into it with Gillen on his Everything Burns arc, and then I continued reading that until Eminem and Sheedy took over, and I loved it, man. It was probably my favorite Marvel comic until they decided to cancel it. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know why they would do that. So yeah, I'm still mourning the loss of it, man. I don't know what I'm going to do without it. I'm really getting heavy into this though. God of Thunder is helping me replace it. And I do know that Sif is not gone for good because Thor Crown of Fools will be starting soon, and that's going to have Sif, Thor, Loki, and the Warriors 3. And so that's going to be awesome. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm still mourning the loss of my lady Sif. I will miss her in monthly form. And that is my moratorium on the great Journey into Mystery.
But they're not rebooting the numbers because it's very high.
No, I don't think it's just gone. Well, they've rebooted the numbering. They renumbered. It used to be. It was Journey into Mystery where Thor first appeared in it. And let's see, what was it? Issue 126. Back in '66, and then it just became the Mighty Thor, and they just changed the title, and Thor was the star of it back then, and then they rebooted it again in the '70s Journey, and it was a horror comic, didn't have anything to do with Asgard, and then like in the '90s they brought it back and started putting more Asgard stories in it, so it could come back. I don't count it out. It's been rebooted a bunch of times. So we'll see what happens. It may not even be about Asgard if it comes back, and then I won't be interested, so.
Journey into
We'll see
Mystery
how it
with
goes.
Captain Marvel. It's going to be Journey into Mystery with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'll do without it then. Second tier Avenger, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, people, make sure if you're reading Infinity, pick up the tie-ins, because the tie-ins will explain a lot of things you're going to be missing.
Absolutely. If you don't have Avengers and New Avengers, you might as well not even read it, because you're not going to know what is going on. There's like half of the Battle of the Corridor was in those books. So you're missing like a whole chunk of Infinity if you don't read them.
So tonight we're talking in memorandum of Journey into Mystery. We're going to be talking about Thor, Asgard, the whole shebang. We're all going to put our 2 cents in. Comics, movies, animation. It's all open in this discussion about Thor and Asgard. But I do want to say, it's Marvel. You need to bring. I'm hoping you bring it back. Because that was the time you had Journey into Mystery, you had Adventure into Fear, you had these great books that had these great stories in it, and so many awesome characters came out of these
Tales
books.
to Astonish, no longer around anymore.
Tales to Astonish, Tales to Astonish gave us characters like Groot, first appeared in Tales to Astonish. You know, Thor from Journey into Mystery, Howard the Duck from Adventures into Fear. All these great characters come from these books, and you're wiping them out to bring us what? I don't even know. We're getting like Infinity Time. We're getting Infinity Hunt and Infinity Thief and Infinity to Infinity and Beyond #1 and but you're getting rid of these really good books. I got to go on my rant here because they're getting rid of Morbius, which I loved Morbius. Morbius was a fantastic book. I love
Captain Marvel
You're shaking your head, Panda. Did you not like Morbius?
I loved Morbius. I was so upset whenever I found out it was canceled. Like, I'm still in the process of, like, just so upsetting.
Understood. It was a good book.
It was a good book, and it could have led into some really great cameos by characters like Werewolf After Dark, you know, all these great characters. Dracula, we could have seen Moon Knight back in there a little bit. You're getting
Frankenstein's monster.
Yep, you're getting rid of those. Yet you're bringing us another Avengers book. You're giving us Mighty Avengers, another Avengers book. We have
which is a reboot.
Avengers books.
That used to be a title they're bringing back, actually. I don't know what they're going to do with the Marvel Now numbering, but Mighty Avengers was an old title that they're bringing back.
But they're
back in the day.
They're giving us way too many Avengers books. I mean, I love the X-Men. There's way too many X-Men books. Now we're going to get Amazing X-Men, which I'm okay with. They're going to bring back Nightcrawler. I'm fine with that. I miss the Elf. Pedro, you're kind of like our Nightcrawler on the show.
I'm dead.
Pedro can bam.
You're not dead. Don't say that to Megan Ashley that Pedro can bamf.
She might like it.
Oh, you never know. We love you, Megan. We're not making fun of you. Love you. But
indeed. Please come back on our show.
But rant short. Stop canceling these books. DC did it. They've canceled tons of books, bringing out 50 new books each month. Just stop. Okay? Stop. Stop.
The horn means it's time for our contest. I'm just kidding.
So you say the secret word, you win $100.
You said the secret word, Spin.
Oh, the duck comes down. Okay. First of all, Chief, tell us about Asgard. You have the Asgardian tourism guide there in front of you. Tell us about Asgard.
I do have it. Asgard is the home of the Asgardians, of course. There's 9 realms, as we all know, which I count 11 realms. I don't know where they get this 9 realms, but I've got Alfheim, which is what is it, the light elves. You got Asgard, which is the home of like Thor, Odin, you know, your known Asgardians. You got Hel, which is ruled by Hela, which is Loki's daughter, of course. It's the realm of the dead. Then you got Jotunheim, which is the home of the giants. Midgard, which is Earth, where we live. Muspelheim, which is where the demons and Surtur live. And then Ninevalir, that's how you pronounce it, right? That's where the dwarves live. Valhalla, of course, is where the honored dead are. Niflheim is where the dishonored dead are. Svartalheim is where the dark elves live. And then you've got places like Skornheim. I mean, there's more than 9 areas of Asgard. I'm just saying. So whoever did a count was wrong. There's too many Heims.
Too many Heims.
A lot of dwarves. Then you got your
give me a Heimroid. A Heimroid.
your denizens of Asgard, like in the different realms. You got demons, dwarves, elves, giants, trolls. Pretty much all your fairy type creatures from fairy tales. Dragons, stuff like that. It's all connected. I don't know. I've never really heard of vampires in Asgard. I assume there's something
do they
like that. Didn't you have no sparkly vampires in Marvel. Don't you even say it. You got and the World Tree Yggdrasil connects all the 9 realms together, and it's kind of like the portals to all these worlds. You travel the roots of the Yggdrasil, I guess. But one thing I didn't understand is they say that the world tree is an ash tree, an ancient ash tree, but somehow produces apples. That confused me about the world tree. But that is your geographic tour of Asgard. For those not in the know.
Spin. What happened, Spin?
I don't know. He said apples, and I just went crazy.
Apples?
Tell you the truth, I started thinking about My Little Ponies.
It's about what was it? How do they kick the trees and the apples fall?
They kick the tree and the apple come down. So I could see like unicorns kicking the trees and the world tree to get apples.
See,
there's some freaky stuff.
He said ash tree and then apples, and I just thought of Pokeballs. Maybe Pokemon started in Asgard.
You can see Thor sitting there, and Mjolnir's like he gets Mjolnir. You know, he's summoning Mjolnir. He's like, Mjolnir, I choose you. Mjolnir comes out.
And here's a
what was in that milk I drank? That wasn't milk.
Here's a little known Asgardian, the god of winter, Hoder. Now, does this guy look like he's any kind of threat?
I'll tell you what, you come to my realm, I'm gonna give you frostbite. Tell you what.
This looks like the guy that yanked the mask off of in Scooby-Doo. Like, he's the guy at the haunted amusement park. I would have got away with it, too! Were for you meddling Asgardians!
It was Old Man Hoder the whole time.
Old Man Hoder with his tiny little boat. What's he shooting with this thing? It's a tiny little... He got no power. It's like a child's bow. It's like he bought that at Toys R Us.
Asgards are us.
But this Smart Universe Handbook has tons of like weird Asgardians that you never see in the comics anymore. It's Heimdall you see, of course, but Hermod? Have you ever seen Hermod in a book in a long time? Probably 20 years has Hermod been around. The god of speed.
Pain in the rear end.
Tyr, the god of war. How is
Wait a minute,
Tyr, the god of war? They don't even talk to this guy.
Tyr?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like Tyr's like sword or something like that.
I haven't seen any of these people in a Thor comic or a Journey comic in a long time.
I have a book about mythology. And
There you go.
there is here, Gigantor.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's like a real guy in mythology, but has Marvel used him in like 20 years? That's weird. They got so many characters they don't even use anymore.
He causes.
I bet we'll see a lot more of it though. We'll see a lot more of these people in the Crown of Fools story. I think that's going to be coming out because I think it takes place in Asgard with pretty much all the main characters of Thor's world. You got Loki and Sif and the Warriors 3 and Thor, of course.
Probably we will have Avengers, Asgard Avengers.
The Asgard Avengers.
Uncanny Asgardia.
Look,
Asgard's Mighty Warriors.
The amazing Asgard.
Now on Disney XD. Watch it as they cross over with Phineas and Ferb.
I still haven't watched that crossover with Marvel. I got it on my DVR.
I missed it.
I did. I watched it.
With the blog instead. I was so mad.
What?
The dog with the blog.
Show is dog with a blog. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Dog with a blog?
I've never heard of it until right now.
Well, okay. Let me give you the rundown because I'm gonna say. Let me give you a rundown because I'm going to save this for a Disney observation because this has been on my list for Disney observations. It's a stupid story about some dog that can talk that types with his paws a blog at the end of the episode. The whole rest of the episode is about a smart aleck sister and her. Somehow every Disney show, the brother has to be dumb as a box of freaking rocks. And what's the girl want to do? She wants to be smart and the boy just wants to get a girl. It is, because, that's all us guys want to do is get a girl. That's all we want. No, we want comic books. Get it right.
Well, to be fair,
Walt Disney,
I was a little bit younger. All I wanted was a girl.
Walt Disney is rolling in his grave right now. He's got a hemorrhoid.
If my dog could type a blog, she'd write, "I want a hamburger." She'd just write, "I want a hamburger" over and over again. That's what a dog would type. A dog would play tennis ball. A dog wouldn't write a blog.
if the dog talks, why he didn't make a vlog about it?
Make a video, you lazy dog.
Hey, Panda, what would a bunny write if a bunny had a blog? What would your bunnies write?
My bunnies, actually, one of my bunnies is obsessed with my laptop, and every time he gets on it, he ends up changing my home page. And I don't know, I feel like one of them...
He's looking at the other type of bunnies online.
My black one would just write that his brother looks like their mommy, because he does. He looks exactly like him, and that's what he would say. He would say, brother looks like mommy, because they tease each other. And the other one would probably just tell me that he wants more Brussels sprouts. That would be...
I think a bunny would just write hop, hop, hop.
But no, like,
Nose
they get
wiggle,
on my webpage, and they'll go to, one of them navigates the internet, man. They're crazy bunnies.
They're buying stuff.
Why would I think they'd screw with you? They'd screw with you and be like, "Yeah, what's up, Doc? What's cooking? What's up, Doc?" Are there bunnies in Asgard?
You know what? I think there are, actually. I think there's all kinds of weird stuff in Asgard.
I feel like there is one. I can't remember its name.
There's a squirrel.
One time. You showed me
I'll tell you.
You showed me a picture one time of Thor on a creature that looked like Fin Fang Foom. Remember that?
It wasn't him though. It looked like him, but it was some kind of weird kind of Asgardian beast he was riding.
I swear it looked like Fin Fang Foom. It looked like Fin Fang Foom.
Ratatosk is the squirrel that lives in the world tree that is a messenger between the different something. That was one of the things I found out today that I didn't know. I also didn't know that Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder are Thor's two flying goats. In case you didn't know that. His chariot, he flies with goats.
That is
And not only that, they're not gone. He mentions his flying goats in this comic, and this is the last issue of Thor, so that's in current continuity.
Hold on. So in the realm of Marvel, okay, Shauna the She-Devil gets like panthers and jaguars, and Thor gets goats.
Hey man, Thor's a man. He's secure in that. He'll fly with goats. He don't care. What are you gonna do to Thor? He's got a Mjolnir.
Oh, I could just see him. Hey, Thor, where you going with them goats? Huh? Where you going? Hodor's like, hey there, Thor, where you going with them there goats, man?
And, Odin has an 8-legged horse, so named Sleipnir or something like that. I'm telling you, Jack Kirby was a nutcase. It was the actual the Marvel version of Thor was kind of thought of as, from what my research says, it was Stan Lee and his brother Larry Lieber and Jack Kirby came up with all this weird stuff from like old Norse mythology, and man, they just did not have any governor on the weirdness they would throw into that world. There was so much. If you like look up and like read about like Asgard and like how some of the stories that Thor's with, there is some really weird stuff, and especially when you get into like Gillen's journey into mystery is so weird. Like during like all through it, man. Like when he went with Kid Loki and all that. When it gets into all that. It's such a good story, but it's so weird. You just some of it, you're like, what is going on here? Like, there's this giant wolf and a little wolf cub with Kid Loki, and the wolf cub is a traitor, and it just gets so strange. And then they throw in like little scrolls in the corners of like modern language, old Viking talk. It's crazy.
But what was the round table with Stan, Larry, and Jack Kirby? What was the round table where they're like, we need him to have a badass chariot, and then Stan Lee's just like, well, true believer, he's gonna have goats. Excelsior!
But the strange
that's from mythology, though.
Mythology, yes, mythology.
Yeah, Pedro's got the book. There's the goats right there.
I see them. I see the goats.
They took all that stuff from real. It's all from real stuff. Real sources of like mythology.
Oh, goats. We talk squirrels, goats, bunnies.
To be fair, flying goats are actually kind of, I don't know, in my world, they're sort of popular. I don't know, I watch a lot of wrestling, and there's a wrestler called Daniel Bryan that they commonly refer to as Goatface because of his beard. And every time he does any sort of flying maneuver, they always yell flying goat, and it's a big, huge, like, crowd favorite thing. So,
that's only because they don't know that he was originally the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Exactly. Maybe they're using the American Dragon. You were a dragon. Now we're demoting you to goat.
You were Fin Fang Foom. Now you're
like he's on top of like the wrestling world right now. It's ridiculous.
It's because he's awesome.
I still say Coco Beware, greatest wrestler of all time.
But in mythology we have strange animals and strange characters, like the Minotaur, the guy with the bull's head.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff.
The Minotaur, yeah.
It's like the Greek mythology. Well, not only that, Marvel you got Hercules too. So I mean, they not only mined Asgard for material. You can look in here in these Marvel. They had like the whole like Greek pantheon, all that stuff too. I mean, all that weird old mythology made its way into Marvel Comics back in the 60s and 70s and stuff. So it's
actually those were like some of the best ones. Were like Thor versus Hercules. Those were some of the best crossovers. Were Thor versus Hercules.
There's a part in this comic where Jane Foster told that if he doesn't let her use Earth medicine for her illness, that she'll go out with Hercules, and Thor is genuinely angry about her saying that. Because he still to this day hates Hercules, I'm guessing.
Isn't Hercules, like, last I saw, he was like a teacher at the Avengers Academy before, when they had the Avengers Academy book. I think he was there at the Avengers Academy helping train the new Avengers before Avengers Arena came in, to play. I think he was there at the Avengers Academy helping to train them.
I haven't seen anything with Hercules, and the last thing I remember Hercules being in was when he took over the Hulk series, and it was the Incredible Herc for a while. And I haven't seen anything with him in it since, really. I don't recall seeing him in anything.
Maybe he can take over Deadpool, and he'll be the Herc with the Herc with the mouth.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go.
Hercule.
We need a Hercule. There you go. Hercule. He teams up with Panda Pool to take
That sounds like a porcupine. Like, I just picture him being spiky and porcupine-ish.
Like Sonic.
Like Sonic Pool and Space Chief Pool and Pedro Pool.
But in mythology, Thor is more famous in Marvel Comics than Hercules. I don't know why, because
well, he was a founding member of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And Hercules came along. I don't know what his first appearance was, but Thor was definitely predates Hercules being in Marvel for sure.
Yeah, and like any incarnation of the Avengers you see now has to have Thor. All the cartoons have to have Thor, you know. But they've kind of taken on, like the modern versions have kind of taken on, they haven't taken on the Donald Blake Thor. They've taken on the fallen son of Asgard Thor that we have now. Not the Donald Blake finds Mjolnir cave.
Banging the hammer on the cane on the ground and he transforms into Thor. Which he was originally sent to Earth to learn humility because of that. And he didn't realize, which I don't get, how did he never bang that cane on the ground and transform into Thor, you know, before he accidentally did it one day? So Odin sends him to Earth, strips him of his powers, and like hides Mjolnir in that stick, right? Like, and he never figured, because he's like a crippled doctor or something, and he's got a cane, and that's when he hits the cane on the ground, it turns into Mjolnir, and he becomes Thor. From what I understand of Thor.
Dr. House Thor.
Well,
the house becomes Thor.
I guess a shameless plug. You can get those that the first appearance of Thor on Comixology.
Yes, you can.
Which I did. I have it,
and it is free. So you can go get the first.
Lots of number ones free. Spider-Man too.
Yeah, Spider-Man's free.
Oh, yeah, I have
Jules had to text me. Jules had to text me at like 8 in the morning, like, "Oh my God, there's so many number ones on Comixology for free!" And I'm like waking up. I'm like, comics?
Here's me.
Cool.
Here's me. I go to read my regular comics, and usually I have to scroll down, like, and there it is. I'm scrolling, like hundreds. And I'm like, where did all these comics? Like, I asked Keith, I said, where did all these comics come from? He's like, oh, they were all free. I was like, 100 of them? Like, I just kept going. So I was like texting and aiming and letting everybody know.
I got a ton of those too.
Yeah.
Is it all different publishers, or is it just like Marvel?
No,
there's a few different ones.
Publishers.
Yeah.
It's everything.
I think it's still going on too. I don't know when it ends. But
yeah, it's still going on because like Dynamite, like you can get Saga #1 is on there for free. You can get Saga #1 for free. I know that.
Walking Dead #1 too.
Yes.
Walking Dead #1.
Really liked it.
Marvel
Dynamite.
did something with they released all issues 1700 issues one time ago. I get all of them, but I don't really read digital, so sorry.
I don't read it too much.
Yeah, but when it's Amazing Spider-Man #1, Incredible Hulk #1, they're free. You can get them on digital. You're like, okay, I gotta.
I was like,
because I'm never.
Yeah, I took them all.
Yeah.
Comic book day.
I'm saving them for a rainy day.
Yeah.
When I'm stuck somewhere with my tablet and I need something to read.
Oh, and a good one to get is Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2. They had the best one, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, issue number 36. Issue when the World Trade Center was bombed, and the heroes are there helping at the World Trade Center.
Love that comic.
That one hit me hard. You all know why that hit me hard. That's a great issue. Get it off of Comixology. That issue alone will make you cry. Trust me on that one.
I think I've read that already. I think I've got that already.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen the picture of like Spider-Man standing in the rubble. I believe I'm almost positive I've seen that before.
Jules, did you get the Doctor Who comics that were free?
No, I didn't get Doctor Who ones.
There's
I didn't get those either, and Jess will probably want those.
Go and get them. Oh, and a lot of Smurfs. There were a lot of Smurf comics. Make sure you go get the Smurf comics.
See, I didn't see the Smurf
You
ones
leave the Smurf
either.
comics.
You know, I gotta say, I hate the Smurfs. I've hated the Smurfs since they started. I never could stand them. I rooted for Gargamel to eat them every time he was in a cartoon. Because it was like, I think it was, the way they had it on and when I was a kid is like, that was on before Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and the Hulk cartoon. So I had to sit through it every morning waiting for Spider-Man. I was like, I hate these little blue people.
You didn't have to sit through it. You didn't have to sit through it. And Panda's face was just priceless because you said I hate the Smurfs and she was like, what?
How can I've never met anyone that hated the Smurfs? Like
I hate them. I just hate them.
When we are young, because I forgot the names in English of the Tom and Jerry. It's Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry's right.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. When you are young, you kind of I like Jerry, but when you get older, you like I like better Tom. He's misunderstood.
It's like when you're a kid.
He's the cat doing his job, man.
It's like when you're a kid, you're rooting for G.I. Joe. You're rooting for the G.I. Joes. You want Snake Eyes and Duke to win. But when you get older, you're like, come on, Cobra Commander, blow him out of the water.
Oh, no. I was always a big Storm Shadow guy.
Come on,
I always loved Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow was my favorite from the beginning. Oh, and I was a Starscream. I was always a villains guy, man, I swear. Even when I was a kid, I loved Megatron and Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp. Those were the Autobots I could have done without. Just show Megatron destroying the world.
So did you love the Misfits instead of Jem and the Holograms?
Of course, from what little I ever watched of that. When I was a kid, I was like, that was like a girl's cartoon when I was a kid. I was like, you don't watch Jem and Holograms. You watch hardcore stuff like Spider-Man. Yeah, I actually watched He-Man, didn't watch She-Ra. When I got older, though, now, like, I'm an adult, and I've seen She-Ra on, like, what is it? It's on some I think it's, Cubo or something. It's on every night at like 11. Mm-hmm. I discovered She-Ra is actually the better cartoon. She-Ra is actually the deeper story, the more science fiction-y story, and it's actually a better show than He-Man. Like for being more hardcore. She's like a rebel. She's fighting like Hordak is like almost like the Empire in Star Wars, and she's like underground and hardcore. And like He-Man's just this. He should have ripped Skeletor's head off in the first episode of that cartoon, and then they would have had no more problems in Eternia. Eternia would have been problem free. Just bash that skull face in, and he's done. No more villains.
He-Man is kind of a metrosexual Conan.
A little bit. How do you not know that's He-Man? See, Prince Adam looks exactly like He-Man. They have the same haircut, even.
I know.
The same haircut.
How do you not know that's Superman? How do you not know Clark Kent is Superman?
Because he wears bigger suits and he slouches. According to Blackest Night, they explain that.
They explain that the glasses has some kind of krypton glass who get him ugly. I don't know.
So wait a minute.
The glasses just change his whole face.
Wait a minute.
Yes, I have that
Wait
issue.
a minute. So when the glasses are on, he's Jerry Lewis, and when they're off, he's Buddy Love?
Exactly.
It's something like
So
that.
Superman is the Nutty Professor? Superman.
He's kind of
all lady.
By the way, all those people wondering how Superman shaves in Adventures of Superman number 2, I think it's number 2, clearly shows him shaving with a mirror and heat vision.
Yeah, Gillette razors. How does Superman shave my rear hemorrhoid? Are there Smurfs in Asgard?
No, they're not allowed. Thor smashed them all with Mjolnir.
This is the way.
He said, "Be gone, blue demons!"
The frost giants have shrunk. We must kill them all now.
Thy blue abominations shall face the might of Mjolnir.
Oh, goodness.
There are only 4 world tree apples high.
Apples from the ash tree. And Ratatosk is climbing around in that tree somewhere.
And the goats are eating the carcasses.
A sci-fi series about Thor. There is. I don't
About
watch
Thor?
it, but
No, there was a movie made called Thor or something that was on Sci-Fi, and it had nothing to do with
movie. It had
nothing to do with Marvel Thor.
It had Kevin Nash in it, and it was like when Thor came out. You know, it's that one company that every time a movie comes out, they make like a B movie of it. Like Transformers comes out, they make like Transmorphers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes. They had snakes on a plane, so they made snakes on a train.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Thor came out, they created their own Thor, and it took place as the mythology Thor. And I think Kevin Nash played Odin. You had big sexy Diesel playing Odin. He's just
well, since we're on the subject, we have to talk about the actual Marvel appearance of Thor on television, which was in the Incredible Hulk Returns TV movie with Bill Bixby.
Live action.
He appeared in that.
Yeah.
And let's see, what else was he in? He was in
wait a minute. Who played him?
Oh, go ahead.
Who played him? It was God dang it! I know his name. He played Little John in Robin Hood Men. I believe played Thor in that in that episode.
Yes, I believe you're absolutely right about that. I don't know his name, but I know the face. And he had a tiny little. Did he have a tiny little hat?
He had a tiny little hat.
Like a tiny little Thor helmet. Tiny little Thor helmet.
Oh, what about Adventures of Babysitting? In Adventures of Babysitting, the little girl loved Thor, and she saw the big guy towards the end of the movie, and she thought he was Thor.
The guy in the mechanic, that guy would have been a good Thor. They should have made a Thor movie they should have put that guy in the Incredible Hulk Returns.
Now that is an early example of young girls who love comic books. Because Adventures of Babysitting came out mid 80s.
Yeah, man,
and there's a little girl in the entire movie. She's carrying around like a Thor doll, and she has Thor's helmet on, and she has a cape.
I
think she has a hammer too, doesn't she?
I think.
Doesn't she have a little a plastic Mjolnir?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was even in the 80s, people knew girls read comic books.
Yeah.
Right, Panda? There are girls that read comics.
Yes.
Inside joke. Yay!
We know plenty of girls that are real comic fans. There's just a few that I've seen elsewhere that aren't real comic fans that try to eat the apple from the ash tree and fail.
I have this image in my head right now of the Big Bang Theory episode where the boys are off at Comic-Con or something, and the girls decide they're going to try and figure out why their boyfriends like the comics so much, and the first thing they go to is Thor. And it becomes a big, huge argument over why no one else can pick up his hammer, and they have to find a reason, and they go and... Yes,
the best line was when they're talking about the best line was when they were talking about the Red Hulk, when they were talking about Red Hulk picking up the hammer, and I think one of them was like, Red Hulk's not worthy, and Bernadette's like, you don't know his life.
And then the boys,
I remember that.
They're confused and think that they're like, this isn't right. This is.
So if Thor
went through another dimension.
I'm holding the hammer. Yeah, they were going to a Star Trek convention and their car got hijacked, got stolen, and they're tramping around the desert.
Because they tried to do a photo shoot of, like, the desert.
Charlie.
Yeah, they go to where they filmed Star Trek. They're in that park where they filmed a bunch of scenes from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And somehow somebody gets out there and steals their car.
They're all arguing. If I pick up the hammer and Thor picks me up, am I picking up the hammer? Or something like that.
It's like if I touch Thor when he's picking up the hammer, does that mean I'm sort of picking up the hammer?
What comic is it recently that they just explained how that works? Didn't they just explain that it's not magic, but the hammer's actually encoded, like somehow scientifically, to increase its gravity when it's almost like when you have one of those fingerprint scanners, like on a door, but it has to be Thor's hand that touches it that makes it able to be lifted. If anybody else touched it, the gravity just increases on it and you can't be lifted.
But what about that?
So if you cut off Thor's hand, can you pick up
if
the
I
hammer?
cut off Thor's hand and use Thor's hand to pick up the hammer, am I picking up the hammer?
But Asgardian bone and skin is 3 times more dense than a human being's. And if you cut off Thor's hand, will his hand appear in Asgard and then regenerate on his body? I think if you cut his hand off, his hand will disappear and he'll go to Asgard.
If you cut off his hand and he's Thor and he's done good deeds, would his hand go to Valhalla? Like
I would think any part of his body would automatically appear in Asgard and would regenerate. So I don't think you could cut off part of Thor. I don't know if it's possible.
Would Thor ever get a crew cut?
He did have. No, I guess he wore a ponytail when he was Donald Blake. I think that's another thing. He looks almost like Thor when he's Dr. Donald Blake. That's another like Clark Kent disguise. He just walks with a limp and puts his hair in a ponytail, and everybody thinks he's a doctor. I mean, come on.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay, so explain the Ray Bill picture. If you're talking about the science, if you go with the science of the thumbprint, explain Beta Ray Bill picking up the hammer.
Because he has a Stormbreaker. It's not Mjolnir.
But
Odin commissioned another hammer.
He originally picked up Mjolnir, and that's how he originally got the powers, was picking up.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't know.
Stormbreaker.
I don't know.
Then he got Stormbreaker. I
don't know if he actually. I guess he did pick it up at least once, because that's where Odin deemed him a worthy successor for the power of Thor, and then had the dwarves commission Stormbreaker after he defeated
and
Thor or something.
Where do the dwarves live?
The dwarves, I have to look that up again, because the dwarves live in
Nidavellir. Okay, Pedro, you've been trying to say something for like 5 minutes, man. What's going on?
I forget.
We've Asgarded him out. Let me see. What? Nidavellir. I don't know how you pronounce it. And Jack Kirby, like I said, Jack Kirby's a nutcase, and so is Stan Lee.
Okay.
They made the hardest stuff to pronounce.
Could Hellboy pick up the hammer?
I don't know. It depends on worth. But if, like you said, how did they?
He's not worthy of the hammer.
No, I'm saying he would be, but I don't know how that would work, because there'd be a lot. It seems like there'd be a lot of people worthy. Like Captain America should be worthy to pick it up. He can't pick it up. Captain America is like one of the most noblest guys there is. There's a lot of people that can't pick it up at all.
Am I the only one that think it'd be freaking awesome to see the right hand of Doom holding Mjolnir? I think that would be freaking awesome.
That'd be great. But see, if other Avengers who should be as worthy as Thor can't pick it up, then how did Odin determine Beta Ray? I'd have to look that up. Beta Ray Bill might have just fought Thor to a standstill. He may never have picked up the hammer. I have to look it up again and find out.
If Norton picks up the hammer and Panda's holding Norton, does that mean Panda picked up the hammer?
Yeah.
That's a question for. We need to get Stan Lee's home phone number.
No, we'll get restraining orders.
I don't. Because I'm already far away.
Yeah, they can't get Pedro. We can just have Pedro call Stanley repeatedly.
Tonight we have learned about Asgard, the different realms. We've learned about squirrels and goats and apples on ash trees and all sorts of weird, wacky, crazy stuff. But you know what? That's how we roll here on Panel to Panel. One week we could be talking to a web series, and next week we're descending into madness. We want to thank you. Tune in next week. We'll be back. So from all of us, we do want to give a shout out to our missing member right now, Uni. We love you, girl. She'll be back with us soon. So we do want to say love you, Uni. Pedro, once again, thank you for coming in, buddy. Who is now a regular.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure
to hear you.
Pedro is now a regular on Panel to Panel. You will see him every week. Panda and Norton are here, so I'm happy to have Panda and Norton with us. Make sure you check out her show, Comic Time, on YouTube. Pedro, plug your website, buddy.
I don't know. It's hmaps.com.br. Eu falei português.
And then, of course, check out Jules, Jason, the Chief, and myself on followingthenerd.com. Check out our other shows, Space Chief Rants and Disney Observation.
On my YouTube channel.
Check those out.
Under my real name, Jason Summers, on YouTube.
And
you can see on the bottom of the screen there.
Yep. And make sure you check out more episodes coming soon of Disney Observations, where I rant and discuss everything going on in the Disney universe from past, present, and future. And of course, follow us on Twitter at our Twitter handles that will be listed at the end of the show. So from all of us, to all of you, and to all our ships at sea, good night and good luck.
Do you know how many times I've tried to leave this thing behind? Tried to lose it? It pulls me back like a chain. You're gonna make me do this, aren't you?
Don, listen.
No, David. This is what you want. This is the only way that you're gonna believe me. You ready?
You're a century's version of hell, eh, Blake?
Is this a hallucination?
And this must be Banner the Warlock. Well, all in good time. First things first.
What are you doing?
Thirsty.
What are you doing?
I'm thirsty.
Don't let him touch your chest! Stop him! He'll wreck everything! Don, make him stop!
You maniac! Hold it for a second!
Drink! Is there nothing to drink in this alchemist's den?
I seriously doubt it.
I must not lose control.
David, he's harmless.
Is he prey?
I'm sending you back. Give me that hammer!
Wait! I won't hurt him. All right, look, you. Blake says that you are wise in many things. But if you show him how to cut the cord that Odin has spun between us, or if your witchcraft should harm Blake, then I lose my chance to enter Valhalla. And you have never seen anger. He is praying.
David, it's okay.
Go away. Leave me alone, please. You just don't understand. You don't know what could happen. Please.
Go away.
Don't push him.
Leave you be, eh? Sounds
Stop
more like
it.
insult than hospitality.
What are you doing,
An insult
jerk?
is something I can always understand.
Don't make me angry.
He's braver than I thought, Blake.
Stop it, damn it!
Leave me.
fly, you can reach the other side of the rainbow. It's alright, take a chance, 'cause there is no